Hello and welcome to this special edition of 61 Minutes. Today we are joined with Mary Sue all the way from the great state of New York to tell us about the factors that led to the Great Depression. Mary Sue?
Thank you, Mary Beth. Well, after World War I, the United States was sort of in a state of isolationism, and the causes of the Great Depression were most likely three things. Number one, poverty of farmers, and there was no government intervention. Number two, unemployment of the working class. And number three, the buy now, pay later style of the middle class. And also the advertising, and people were just buying too much.
Very nice. So everybody make sure you grab your popcorn and stay tuned after this word from our sponsors. Do you want trees that look like this? For just $19.99, call now and the CCC will plant you a tree in your own backyard. But wait, if you call now, you can get another one free. Welcome back. Now Mary Sue will tell us how the farmers led to the Great Depression. Mary Sue?
Well, Mary Beth. While most Americans were spending more and more, farmers and the working class were suffering from a lot of unemployment. The farmers especially suffered from bankruptcy and foreclosures, while the upper class benefited from corporate actions.
Well, what did the government do to help these poor farmers?
By golly, Mary Beth, they didn't do a single thing, except create the Federal Farm Board, which it didn't even work. That created the agricultural, I
believe the word you're looking for is agricultural.
Agricultural, Mary Beth. Agricultural Marketing Act. This didn't work because agricultural prices dropped. A lot.
The present condition of American agriculture constitutes an emergency of the gravest character.
What? Agriculture sucked.
The same is true of the steam and electric railways and practically all other large corporations.
Huh? Businesses didn't suck.
On the other hand, the Secretary of Agriculture reports that in the 15 principal wheat-growing states, more than 108,000 farmers since 1920 have lost their farms through foreclosures or bankruptcy. That more than 122,000 have surrendered their property without legal proceedings, and that nearly 375 have retained possession of their property only through the leniency of their creditors, making a total of more than 600,000, or 26% of all farmers who have virtually been bankrupt since 1920 in these 15 states alone.
I don't understand. Farmers went bankrupt, so you suck!
Good morning.
Hi, I'm here to sell my sack of potatoes.
Mom!
Shut up! Mama's making money.
All right, that'll be 68.6 cents.
But last year was 113.5 cents.
I'm sorry.
Welcome back to 61 Minutes with this special edition of a reflection of the Great Depression. Now we're going to talk about the working class.
Well, the focus of consumerism was mainly just only on the middle class, because they were the only people who could pay for products, while the working class remained jobless and penniless.
Before we cut to commercials, is there anything else you'd like to say about the farmers?
Well, the United States was downright stubborn and kept the farmers in isolationism. They had to sell to just American markets.
Alright, well if you have to take a tootie, don't move that booty because we will be back in a jiff and we are going to be talking about the working class.
Do you want to smell like a man? Better yet, do you want to smell like me? Then buy my new cologne, Power, by FDR. I am Franklin Delano Roosevelt, and I approve this message.
Well, surely the government had to help them. What did the government do?
Well, Mary Beth, the government did nothing. They pretty much failed.
Oh my stars.
I know, right? While the Republican Party, headed by Hoover at the time wanted a hands-off laissez-faire policy.
President Hoover,
Yes?
a letter came for you in the mail today.
Who's it
A
from?
boy living in Chicago.
Huh.
My pappy, he's staying home. All the time he's crying because he can't find work. I told him, "Why are you crying, Daddy?" And Daddy said, "Why shouldn't I cry when there is nothing in the house?" I feel sorry for him.
Dang this mother trucker. He's gonna ruin my reputation.
Now, I don't remember hearing about any of that, and the ladies at my church sure are gossipy.
Well, Mary Beth, the government tried to conceal what was going on.
Shocker!
I know. So the government put on a front of optimism and made the public think that the situation wasn't as bad as it truly was.
I am Senator Hoover, and I do not believe that the power and the duty of the general government ought to be extended to the relief of individual suffering. The lesson should be constantly enforced that though the people support the government should not support the people. And this here is America.
Looks like there's a lot of poor people in this country.
Change? Nah, we're the richest country in the world. Let me show you around Hollywood.
Alrighty, it's that time again. Make sure those tushies are comfortable while we take a commercial break, and when we get back, we're going to be talking about consumerism. Come on down to the Sammamish Car Show for brand new Model X's at lowest prices. They even come with a hot chica in the back seat. Yeah! Welcome back to 61 Minutes as we reflect on the causes of the Great Depression. Now we're going to talk about my favorite topic, shopping.
Well, Mary Beth, I'm sure you have a vacuum cleaner at home, don't you?
Why, I sure do. It's a very nice one, too.
Well, the middle class went through a lot of short-lived prosperity, especially because of the purchasing of modern technology, such as the vacuum cleaner.
Ooh.
Also, the middle class was influenced by excessive advertising and the appeal of purchasing on credit, which is a very bad thing we see now. Bruce Barton, for example, was a huge part in advertising. Maybe we should blame him for the Great Depression.
Darling, we should buy a swing set for our dear Johnny.
And why is that?
Have you not seen the commercials? The more you buy for your children, the more successful they'll be later on.
Huh.
Yay! Well, what happens next?
Well, Mary Beth, a massive wave of buying on margin followed.
How massive?
Massive! The buying needs were fueled by mass production. I'm sure you've all heard of the assembly line. That allowed Model T Fords, the hot new item, to be produced every 10 seconds.
10 seconds.
10 seconds!
So, President Hoover, can you tell us how the economy is doing right now?
Well, it's looking very prosperous, and I don't think anything in the near future can affect this.
Mr. President, just a couple days ago, you said the economy was doing fine. What do you have to say about the stock market crash?
I was wrong.
Tell me more.
Well, all of the purchasing and leisurely places to go, including baseball games, which I myself have attended a lot, those contributed to a large amount of spending throughout the nation.
So cold.
Yay!
Well, we all know how this ends.
The amount of buying on credit grew and grew and spiraled out of control. This set up society for a crash and a burn.
Do you think we should stop buying on credit and spending?
Nah. I mean, look at my new socks.
Good point. I wonder where this door leads to. Ow, ow.
People also had a lost in trust of banks, speculation soared, and stocks were being purchased with a small amount of down payment. This foreshadowed the Great Depression.
Well, thank you for your time, Mary Sue. Now, to summarize, we're gonna cut to Mary, Billy, Bob, Jane, Jack, Jill, Lou, Jingleheimer, Schmidt, all the way in Washington, D.C.
Thank you, Mary Beth. I'm standing here, right in front of the White House, and I just spoke to the president, and he pretty much said that the Great Depression was caused by 3 major things. One thing is farmers going into bankruptcy and the government totally ignoring them. 2, unemployment. And 3, buying on credit and the large amount of advertising. Thank you. This foreshadowed the Great Depression.
Thank you, Mary Sue. Now we're gonna cut to Mary, Lynn, Jim, Bob, Joe, Yasmin.
No! Mary, Billy, Bob, Jane.
Today, we are joined by Sue Beth.
Do you want to smell like a man? Better yet, do you want to smell like me? Then buy my new perfume.
Cologne.
Power.
This is my Taylor impression. Does it swivel? Yeah, it swivels.
Hey, girl.
Hi. Good morning.
I'm here to sell my
Mom!
potato.
Mom!
Shut up! My pappy.
Oh no!
Spider monkey.
Driver filming.